888-936-3021 or visit us online at nrgfoam.com for more information. NRG Spray Foam. Building green, living green.
This message was from a proud sponsor to KNLY 91.1 FM.
We are broadcasting live from the Woodlands, Texas to the world. You're listening to the only multimedia FM station in Houston, Texas. Your Fusion Radio. Top 40s, dance, Latin, country, pop, rock and roll. All in one station. Mixing genres and generations. You're listening to KNLY New Waverly, Texas. 91.1 FM, The Boss.
The program presented are submitted by members of our community and are a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect those of KNLY 91.1 FM and its affiliates.
Good morning. We are having a wonderful Wednesday here at KNLY 91.1 The Boss, and as always, we're excited about every guest that God sends our way and allowing us to aid them and pushing not only their brand, their product, but their businesses. And today I have with me on today's Entrepreneur, Mr. John Van Orton. Wonderful gentleman, and I want you all to get to know this gentleman as we talk and share a little bit. But Mr. Handyman,
yes, sir.
Had the pleasure of meeting him at a NIA Network in Action event with Stacey Harris, and from there he has been the same. So tell them about yourself. Tell them a little bit about what you do, other than they can probably figure out you're going to be working with some tools.
That's exactly right. Tell you what, the name Mr. Handyman does us a little bit of a disservice, because the stigma around handyman is jack of all trades, master of none. We're fortunate we've got a team of technicians with 20 plus years experience. Guys can do everything from caulking a shower to building custom cabinets. So we'd like to say we've got the experts in the field of home repair and maintenance.
I love the statement, just the part of master of none. You have literally monopolized your skill set by which you're able to service anything that people are desiring or needing around the home. While we were talking, John, I was thinking about honey-do list.
Oh, yeah.
And for the men that are not handy, let's use that. They're not handy, and they're having to still look to someone like you to be able to service, and not just men who are in the home who have the honey-do list, but women who are single, widows, or divorced, or however, and just people who are in the market of, we're in this flipping age of flipping homes and things of that nature. So your ability to service and aid others is just broad and vast. So how did you get over into what most people classify as just generically the handyman?
Yeah, what you find is there's a lot of great remodeling companies here in the Woodlands and South Montgomery County, and they like to be on a job for 3 months. They have great subcontractors that do great quality work. Well, taking a step back and saying, who's going to do those small 2-hour to 2-day type projects? Or, like you mentioned, the honey-do list. Hire Mr. Handyman for a day, and our technician can knock out probably a month's worth of to-do list items. And we're going to provide the same level of quality that the experts do, but you only have to make one phone call, and you only have one technician in your home. And once you develop a relationship with that technician, some of our customers have the same guy in their house once a month. You become part of their routine, and that relationship just gets stronger and stronger every time we can service them.
I think when we consider entrepreneurs and business owners, we've moved away from the customer service aspect, and every client gets labeled as a dollar. Versus building the rapport, building the relationship, and establishing something long-term and not short-term, all because you're trying to monopolize or capitalize on the financial aspect and not ultimately providing the service that is actually here. And then we all know word of mouth. We know, with with the likes on social media sites and Google and all of that, people want to be able to know that I'm not being taken advantage of.
That's right.
And you fall in that category of the mechanic.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
you fall, or the salesman to some degree. But you are, from what I know and my overall personal interaction with you, I know that you genuinely have the heart of the people. You desire to provide a service, and though we mentioned the Woodlands and Montgomery County, you're not limited to these areas. Am I correct?
That's correct. That's correct. We do North Harris County as well. We are part of a franchise.
Okay.
So there are 5 other owners in the Houston marketplace.
Okay.
So we're limited to what we can do within our own territory. But we pretty much look at us as being your Northwest and Northeast Houston handyman service as well.
John made mention early, if you all remember, he just stated one call and that's all.
That's right.
I felt like we was on the attorney that makes the commercial, one call and that's all. I want you all to know that we're going to be doing something a little bit different here on today's Entrepreneur, by which you're able to now start calling in and interacting with our guests and asking questions, probably some answers that you had been able to get, some quotes or whatever information that each guest that will be here. And so if you have yet to get the number to the radio station, it's 281-292-7911. And those lines are ready so that you may want to talk to Mr. Handyman, give him a honey-do list if you don't have a honey. But tell me this, because I've often wondered, and I'm not the guy. I promise you, I am not the guy who puts the tools together. Now, my father has always been that man's man.
Yes.
That just wasn't for me. But getting over into this particular business, because you've worked for others before, and you've chosen to step out,
Yes.
start your own business, go from being employed to now being the employer. What motivated you to do that?
I'm an old oil and gas guy, which most of us seem to be here in the Houston marketplace. I always had a passion for construction. I like to say I have the know-how, but I'm not. God didn't bless me with the hands, so I don't have the can-do part of it.
Okay.
And I have a great amount of respect for our technicians, because the trades is kind of, we're losing the passion around some of the younger kids out there that want to forego the route to go to college, because not everybody is college material.
Correct.
And there is a career here in the trades that we want to show people that if you stick to your trade, and 20, 30 years down the road, you've got not only a very rewarding job because you're providing a great service and happy customers. There's some level of pride there that our technicians really enjoy. But we see in the future of trying to bring some talent in that doesn't have the minimum 20 years that we require,
Okay.
and then hopefully have an apprenticeship program to help develop those skills. Because I appreciate a lot more now that I've worked with these gentlemen for 13 plus years and see what they can do.
I applaud people who just in general, but being out in the heat, especially the Texas heat, and working and doing what it is that you do. And then you made mention of, having some interns, because we have to still be able to hand down what we possess as a means of skill sets. You mentioned 20 years experience. If someone's watching and desires to get into the field of being a handyman, and operating in the trade or skill set that they may have, what are some of the qualifications? And you have kids. I know some young people, millennials, that have a lot of skill sets, but they're not past the age. Some of them are still young. What would you recommend or suggest, or how could they get in contact and say, hey, listen, I'm interested, I need some help?
Part of it is making sure that you go in with the right mindset,
Okay.
that you're going to be a sponge. You only know what you don't know what you don't know.
Correct.
And there's just so much knowledge out there that you can acquire, much more from listening and watching
Okay.
someone else doing the work. So you don't be a know-it-all. Embrace the experience that you work with. Like I mentioned, we have not put together this apprenticeship program, but we see it as the future of Mr. Handyman, because there's a balance. We have to continue to make sure that we have a strong team of
Correct.
technicians for our customers as we continue to grow. But we don't want to short our customers from having someone with 20 plus years experience that can handle everything that they may have on their honey-do list or to-do list. So we're trying to look at how can we balance those two things.
Okay.
And right now, I think that need is sooner than later.
I believe that would be a great addition to the direction that you all are headed as a business. And then when I think about just this generation, altogether, so much has changed. When we talk about, we would see groups of people working and trying, and now we have the technology. We have all these things where we're trying to, 86 are out. Yeah. The most important factor, which is you, and trying to put machines and other things in place to accomplish something that at the end of the day is still going to come back to needing you.
Well, it goes back to what you mentioned, relationships. Relationships are the most important part of our business, and we see ourselves as being in the customer service business first. And that journey we put our customers through, we want that to be a stress-free and most enjoyable journey we can put them through, because maintenance, unfortunately, we're usually in there fixing a problem. We're not enhancing one's home, so there's already a stigma there that I'm spending money I wish I didn't have to spend. So we want to make them feel good about the dollars they're spending with us, and I don't see any machine or technology being able to give that human element and building a strong relationship and delivering the Mr. Handyman experience.
Now, you mentioned 2 day to 2 day to 2 week,
or 2 hour to
2 hours
Yes.
to 2 day work order that you would have to do for someone. Is there a too small of a job for the handyman?
No, all we ask is that you got to remember that we're sending a skilled technician into your home with a ton of experience, but also a ton of tools.
Okay.
And utilize them to its greatest efficiency. And having at least 2 hours worth of work, it's amazing what we can get done for a customer in 2 hours. So you get out of that task-driven mentality more into a hourly service mentality. So we do a lot of small projects that may take 10 or 15 minutes, but by grouping them together, the customer's getting a lot of value.
Wow. What is a typical day like not just for John Orton, but just the handyman? I'm curious to know.
Well, no 2 days are alike. That's
Okay.
one of the thing our team enjoys the most, because it's not like they're laying tile every day. But for instance, today I took a peek at the work orders that we've got on the books, and we have a deck painting, 2 drywall repairs, a door installation, caulking showers and tubs. Another technician is hanging pictures and mirrors for a customer who just moved into their house. We've got another technician that's got 2 bedrooms to be painted. We also provide a quarterly maintenance service for some of our customers.
Okay.
And we have another technician that's doing that quarterly maintenance this morning for one of our long-time customers.
I'm sitting here in awe, because when you say going into someone's home and hanging pictures and things of that nature, someone would see that as a now task.
Yeah.
But that is huge to whomever is employing you. For me, I would be the guy. Trust me, I would be the guy saying, John, hey, I need you to get somebody over here to do this. You'll be like, Orlando, you need to learn to work with some tools, because I'll definitely have you putting in some work. I think people need to know, outside of the information that's being shared, how do they get in contact with you? Facebook, Instagram, any phone numbers, the hours that you're available. I think that would be good to know. And here's something, in giving the hours, do you all have the ability to service people if they have an emergency in the middle of the night?
What we find is the service that Mr. Handyman provides is a discretionary service. We don't do plumbing or electrical or HVAC.
Okay.
Those are for the licensed trades. And those tend to be your emergency calls. We run a Monday through Friday business from 7:30 to 4:30. Our guys do tend to work later at night, on projects that may take longer duration.
Okay.
But all of our technicians have families and homes, and we want to make sure that we allow them to have Saturday and Sunday and for the most part, their evenings to spend with their family and take care of their own honey-do list. MrHandyman.com, so www.mrhandyman.com is the best way for customers to find us. We also do have a Facebook page, Mr. Handyman of the Woodlands, and they can submit work orders, but more importantly, they get to read customer reviews and see the level of service that they should expect from a handyman service.
Wow. There you have it. Actually, before we sign off, I want to highlight Best of the Woodlands, first place, Woodlands Online, Best Handyman, Mr. Handyman.
Yeah.
It gets no better than this.
And 10 years in a row, we're very proud of that honor. So we tend to make it 11 and 12 next year as well.
Listen, we bring people here that we support. We believe in the integrity and the accountability, but the overall service. And so you can trust when they come here, we've done our part. All you have to do is do your part. All the information will be available not only on our sites, but also on mine, Orlando Daniels. All the people that you see here, you can get in contact with them that they may provide you the best service that you're looking for. Thank you for tuning in to today's Entrepreneur. I'm Orlando Daniels. My guest, Mr. John Van Orden of Mr. Handyman. Get in contact and stay tuned for the next guest that we have for today's Entrepreneur. You all be blessed.